So I've had this in my truck for a while now, probably about almost close to 2 weeks. You know, this is all subjective, and I'm just simply a hobbyist. I'm not an influencer. I'm not really trying to sell you anything, except I would like to hopefully either help you make a decision if this radio is for you, or maybe it's not. So anyway, that's kind of what I like to do with my reviews. So here you go. And just so you know, AnyTone did send this radio to me. I did not buy this. This was sent to me. And quite honestly, as with some of the other radios, when they asked me if I wanted to take a look at this, I was like, yeah, sure, because I want to prove this thing's junk. Because if you've watched this channel for any period of time, I'm into old OG radios. This new modern stuff is not really my thing. So, it's all about selectivity for me and how a radio can deal with my very harsh receiver environment here at the Home 20. So, anyway, with that being said, let's go. All right, so first off, right, you notice the size. I mean, everybody showed this pretty much, but we're at like 4 3/4 inches in width, like 1 3/4 inches high, and six inches or so back, whatever. It's a small radio, right? So we have our RJ45 microphone connector here, and as you guys know, I'm not really into RJ45s. I just don't really like this type of microphone connector. But that being said, you kind of have to have a connector like this to do what this radio is capable of doing. This is not just a microphone plug. This is also used as a way to transfer data back and forth through a little handshake or a programming cable, they call them. I call them handshakes. It's kind of an old car audio term we used back in the 90s. When you're going to marry two things together, for instance, your computer and this radio. So that being said, this has held up pretty good in my Mobile, and trust me, I have stretched it, I've tried to abuse it, and it's holding up pretty good. Now, it doesn't look too good because of this little boot here, but the actual connector is staying in just fine. I haven't had a problem with it cutting out or the wires pulling free from this area in here. So I'm going to have to eat my hat on that. But anyway, I still do prefer the other style mic connector, like the 4 and 6 pin style, Cobra style, Uniden style connectors, but this does work pretty good. All right, and then our multi-function on-off button, and we have our mode select and all of this stuff. So look, there's 1,000 guys doing videos on these radios. So if you're doing deep dives into this radio, you're going down the rabbit hole or whatever, I'm not going to bore you with any of that stuff, all right? So just understand, this is a full function radio. This is all modes. Okay, this thing will do AM, FM, upper, lower, sideband, CW. And again, that's, you could hook a key up through here. So, yeah, overall performance, I like it. Yeah, I like the way this radio transmits. I get tons of compliments on my audio when I'm using the stock mic. And the receiver on it, it's pretty selective for a modern rig. I will admit some of these modern rigs are starting to get better. There is, a slight noise floor to this. Maybe possibly in some instances a little more than I would like, but you just back the RF gain down. And I like the way that works, how you can actually back the RF gain down. Now, I usually leave this minus 3 dB. So what I do is I turn it up all the way, then I back it off 3 dB, and that seems to work out really well at the house and in my Mobile. Now, I've been out in the sticks camping, doing some DX work with this, and when I'm in a no noise situation, I can actually turn my noise blanker off, and the selectivity kind of comes through on this. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm not really a big fan of NRC. I have tried my best. This is a good NRC as far as NRCs go. I think this particular radio and the President Washingtons and the Georges have good NRC, and this one is good. I leave it at about 1. I think it's It's too aggressive if you turn it up higher than 1. Not really a fan of that sound, but this works good. The auto squelch works good on this. The manual squelch works good on this. I like being able to program this and fine-tune things via the computer. I can undo these goofy, modern, squirrely Roger beeps that come on a lot of these. They sound like those cheap radios that used to be able to get at Wally World and Costco back in the day, you know, the multi-blip radios and stuff. And I wanted to program this more like a Superstar 3900 style beep or a Galaxy beep. But anyway, let's see. I would like to see a little bit more volume output for mobile use, but that can be solved with using an external speaker. I suggested an external speaker. Now, this internal speaker does its job, and it does a pretty good job at it. I feel like it's really efficient. The speaker itself is an efficient speaker, and it is a good match for the audio amplifier in here. However, my elderly ears prefer an external speaker. So this will power an external speaker good, and it's okay for mobile applications as long as, you know, maybe you're running with the windows up. So that's about it. Somebody was mentioning here locally when I was talking, they were asking how hot does this thing get. So I got my old thermometer out here, and I just got through doing a torture test on this thing again, and I've got 102, 103 degrees. But I can get kind of long-winded, and I've had this ranging from temperatures about 124 to 130 degrees Fahrenheit, right back in about this area. And if you flip this radio over and look at the inside, this is about where the final is right here. So it's a little IRF 520, I believe. So, you know, I'm okay with that. Now, we've had some hot days here in Utah when we've been getting highs of like 104, 105. And this radio just sitting in my truck in direct sunlight, the way it's mounted, this thing already starts off at 125 degrees. And I've tried to roast this radio. I've done everything. I've worked this into a high SWR. I've done everything but hook the power up backwards and basically drive it into a dead short as far as an antenna goes. And I actually do that with all of the radios that I get to take a look at. And this held up just fine. That little IRF 520 did not pop or fry. It's taking a beating, and it's doing really good. Really good. Now, as far as using this on a base station, this menu here is really easy to master. I like it. It does a few little weird things as far as like the function button. You momentarily hit that and you can change your bands. See, like D band here would be like CB, right? And then, you know, go down, you know, you can go out of band and stuff. This radio will go from like 24.715, I believe, to 30.105, which is kind of cool. Let's stop it from flashing. And then this is, you know, your mode switch. And also you can do this. This will say like PA, CW, and then FM, AM, upper, lower. And on that computer program, I can bypass those other goofy things that I don't use, and I can just get the basics. I would actually take upper sideband out, except every great once in a while I'll go up to triple nickel to listen, and you'll need upper side. But you can tailor this thing to do what you want to do. So again, we have our mode switch here, and we're just going back through our modes, right? You can push and hold it, and you get your weather channel. By the way, the weather channel feature kicks butt in this thing. I love the receiver, and I like that signal strength meter. I dig that. That's pretty cool. And I mean, God forbid, if you want, you could put some VHF channels in here to receive only. It'll go from like 137 or 34 megs to like 174. So if you want to, you could maybe do some of the Murs channels in here to receive and stuff, or the 2-meter nerd band if you want to do that. So that's kind of cool. So let's get back out of that, and then we can push that function again and go to one of my favorite modes, the VFO mode. So this actually has 3 functions. It's pretty cool. So I use this VFO mode, not an upper sideband, and FM for 10-meter repeaters, and I've already got it set up, which is like really super cool with this radio. I just kind of haphazardly found this out, but you don't need to go and do all of your bands and stuff. I just put this in my VFO mode, and then I did a negative offset, and then of course, you know, you land on 5s, and I made it land on 0s, and so when I key, see, I'm already going down. I'm on a dummy load, so we're not interfering with the outside world. That may or may not be the truth, but anyway. So it'll go down the 100, okay, which is what you want. And if I want to get back out of that and just go back into CB, then I just push and then hold, and then I can just go back into that. So, man, it's super easy to learn all the ins and outs of this thing. I really like it. I like that this is the volume and this is the channel up, down, and stuff like that. For mobile use, you know, you may not want to just directly put this in your mobile. You might want to get familiar with this on your base, if you ask me, and get really comfortable with it before you throw it in your mobile. But and again, that's just me. So there you go. I like the construction of it. The thing's like a little brick. In fact, I actually have a plan for this radio, and you're going to see that. I'm done with this. I've got another project I've been working on with this radio, and you're going to see that here pretty soon, maybe a week or two. I'm almost completed, but I've designated this radio for a single purpose, which I think you guys are going to think is kind of cool. Well, I don't care. I think it's cool, so I'm going to unplug it. All right, so on the back, right, just super basic, we have our little, excuse me, 3.5 millimeter, or as us old timers call it, 1/8-inch headphone jack, hardwired power cord, really sweet SO239 type connector, so chassis mount connector. I like that, and you know, I'm pretty happy with this thing. I mean, I'm here to tell you, this is, in all honesty, because, you know, I'll have people I talk to, they're like, dude, do you really like that radio? And be like, yeah, I actually do. But if I don't, I'll tell them, you know, I'll tell you. Look, I don't want to have a reputation for misleading folks, right? And again, trust me, guys, this is all subjective. This is like talking about home stereo speakers. I've been in the audio business pretty much my whole life. You know, speakers are subjective. Audio's subjective. You know, the old, you know, Nakamichi Dragon cassettes, you know, all that kind of stuff. I'm very happy with this radio. Very happy with it. And I love the fact that you can fine-tune this with your home computer. So enough rambling, you guys. Yes, I will leave a link down below so you can check it out. I believe I still have a promo code with AnyTone if you want to go factory direct. I'll have to check into that. I'll put whatever the link is, I'll put it in there, try it. If it works, you know, good. Hopefully it will. It may take me a while to have that figured out, but anyway, it'll be down below. But anyway, yeah. And at the price point, I mean, I don't think you can lose, really. I think this will be a great radio. Whether it's a main radio or a backup radio, and then the size, right? Because you can put this in pretty much most any modern vehicle. This is like the second smallest all-mode radio that I've had. The little 310 SDR is slightly smaller, but this is a radio that's workable. This is ready for prime time. There were no bugs in this that I found. So I'm super happy with it, guys. Anyway, look, thanks for watching. And if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. I've got another one like this lined up as well, so stay tuned for that. Let me know what you don't like about your AnyTone. Let me know what you do like about your AnyTone. By the way, you can run your favorite power mic on this. So if you want to use a Lollipop or an old Turner, I use a Turner Plus 2 on mine. This will work. It'll work great. I'm getting good signal reports. It won't overmodulate. There's a limiting circuit in here that makes it so you can't go too crazy, but you don't lose the audio quality of your favorite microphone. It does not change the characteristic or the sound characteristic of your microphone. Super, super important. However, that being said, this little sucker sounds really good on sideband. You put your radio in 4K mode, right? And this sounds great. Now, again, I've had this in my truck while we've had this heat wave, and I'll tell you, this right here is the only thing that has happened during that. Just their little name tag here started peeling up, and that was it. Who cares? The mic element survived. I had this hanging in my window, right in the sun, purposely trying to thrash this microphone, okay? Because I don't care if I thrash it. Couldn't care less. And it didn't lose any of its audio quality. It works exactly like it did the day I pulled it out of the box, other than this little goober right here. Who cares? Anyway, there you go, guys. Great little radio. Thanks for watching. Alright, so what's a CB video without checking some RF output here? Let's see what we've got. So we're going to read this bottom scale. I'm on the 100-watt scale down here on the bottom. This is 20, 40 watts. Right here is 10, and each of one of these little ticks is 2 watts. Alright, so when this radio was box stock, I was getting an output of 4 watts on both AM and FM with a maximum PEP reading of 24 watts on AM. On single sideband, I was getting 8 to 12 watts average with about 16 watts PEP. All right, and that's in stock street legal form. After you do the mod, things change. We have 3 different power settings now. We have low, medium, and high. I'm not going to bother you with the low and medium, so let's just jump right to it. Everybody's going to want to know what the high settings are, so let's do that right now. So I'm on AM. We are of course we're on a dummy load, so we don't interfere with the outside world. As you can see, that meter's actually ticking, and I'm about 15 to 18 inches away from the microphone. The microphone's sitting here on the bench, so I've got just a hair over 10 watts of a dead key, and we're forward swinging almost 2. Let me get the mic up on me right here. Hello, 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 hello. So, you know, we're doing about 10 watts dead key, just a tick over 10, and forward modulating to 12. Pretty cool. All right. By the way, that's pretty cool because a lot of these modern radios have these goofy limiters in them. All right, so I'm going to turn the bird meter onto peak PEP feel good wattses, and we'll see what's happening here. Hello, 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 audio, audio, hello, audio, audio, audio. So like 30. I mean, it did hit 32, but come on, in reality, you know, 30, 28 to 30. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mary had a little lamb. So there you go. That's pretty good, right? From 24 PEP to 30. All right, I'll turn the PEP feel good wattses off. Let's go to FM, which of course is not going to swing, but the RF output changes, and we're at about 24, 25 watts, right in there. The camera's reading at a different angle, and I'm reading it at kind of a goofy angle, so there you go. You can see it. Whatever that camera says, that's what we're doing. All right? All right. Let's see. Let's do single sideband. And, of course, we are still in average readings here. So our average talk power is about 14 about 14 to, 16, 18, something like that. Audio, 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 audio. With about 22 speaking very unnaturally. Let's put it into PEP feel good watts. This is audio, 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 audio. All right, so that changes a little bit. So we're doing about 28 PEP, and I mean, that's pretty good. Of course, lower side, that was an upper sideband. Lower sideband's going to be exactly the same, but yeah, there you go. It's a pretty kick-butt little radio.